when I am working on learning a new language, there is obviously a certain degree of review that you have to do, but I don't feel like it should be the focus of what you're working on, because if you're consistently spending time with the language, the review happens quite naturally. So it's not something that you really need to deliberately spend time on unless there's a specific concept that you find you're still struggling with as you continue in your studies. If it's for vocabulary specifically, using an application like Memrise, Drops, or Anki, which has SRS incorporated into it, allows you to kind of determine how much time you need to spend reviewing and how much time you can spend working on new material, because the material that you need to review becomes due. So that means that it's basically ready for you to look over, and this is like decided by the app based on the spaced repetition algorithms, which are built into the apps, which are really complicated to explain. But basically, spaced repetition shows you a word right before you're about to forget it, so that it stays fresh in your brain. And when you're about to forget it is based on how many times you've answered for that word correctly, how long it's been since the previous time you had seen it, how many times you've gotten that word wrong. So there's a couple of different things that come into that. As far as if you're talking about course book material, again, I would be careful spending too much time reviewing, because you end up it's kind of like when you use too many resources, you spread yourself thin and you become really good at doing like the one thing, but you never really make the forward progress that you need to for your language. So constantly working on new material is going to kind of push you a little bit quicker forward in the language. And then plus, just because language naturally builds on itself as you're learning, you're going to naturally review things that you previously learned through earlier lessons, through other lessons from other materials and things in that sort of nature. So you don't necessarily need to worry so much about review unless you find that you're struggling with something in particular you worked on in the past. Then it would be time to go and revisit that.
One of my favorite tools for reviewing and refreshing my understanding of language is Pod 101. With dozens of languages and hours of audio and video, it's a great way to begin or keep developing your target language. Sign up using our link to help our channel and get access to loads of free material.